So the other day someone was asking me about smoking, and I smoked for 15 years. Most of that time unfiltered roll-ups. An absolute minimum of 20. Honest to God, sometimes more like 40 or 60 or even more. If I was like drinking and getting wasted or whatever. Some weed as well. And it just, even though I quit 15 years ago now, just the horror of what I'd done to my body with cigarettes just suddenly really hit me all these years later, and I was like, oh my God, what the fuck did you do, man? And then of course I've been thinking about that in terms of drinking, and I'm like, fuck, like, I'm 45 years old and I've basically been drinking since I was 15. 3 decades of drinking, pretty much all the time, my entire adult life. And you know, not clinically dependent, not drinking 5 bottles of wine, but drinking, problematically drinking, dependently drinking. Alcohol. All of that fucking alcohol, poison, toxic stuff in my system, year after year, decade after decade, week after week. Not every day, but most fucking days. And it's like, now being sober and being happy being sober, I'm like, oh, what the fuck did I do that for? What did I do that for? You know, like, if you're a drinker, well, this is the way I felt as a drinker, is no matter what I was doing, on some level, everything I was doing with my life felt like a bit of a grind. Just felt like life was a grind, that's just the way it is. And the measure that you take is being able to get through the grind, right? So, you know, you wake up in the morning, oh fuck, you're tired, you gotta get up, you gotta get to work, oh I've gotta go out to this social thing, got through it. Even like fun things, you know, you're like, on some level they're just like a grind. And you stop drinking and you get sober and you're like happy being sober, and you're like, holy shit. Like, it doesn't need to be a fucking grind. You can just go to work, do your job, come home. I'm not saying it's not like, there's not stress or you're not tired, but it's a completely different level. It's like, when you're a drinker, do you ever think of those days like when you were younger, when you just kind of wake up and feel fresh and like get up and do something? You go sober and it's just like that all the time. It's like what it was like before you started drinking. You've probably forgotten. And yeah, you might say, oh, I did dry January, I took a bit of time off, like, nah. If you just plodded on through dry January knowing that you're going to go back to drinking and just waiting for it to be over, then you were experiencing stress. You weren't really sober in the kind of purest way of that word. I'm probably not making much sense today because I'm a bit emotional, really. Like, if I'd have known my life could be like this and I could feel this way day in, day out, and then, like, you know, I'm just like, what the fuck have I been doing for 30 years? Destroying my body. Thank God, like, my diet isn't too bad and I exercise quite a lot. Because I could be on death's fucking door. I mean, I'm like, you know, my blood pressure now is perfect every time I take it since I quit. But in the last year, I've been fucking through the roof sometimes. And it's like, that is how you will end up having a stroke or having a fucking heart attack or whatever, you know. Something really bad is going to happen. Like, you're going to get really ill. You might die for that beer buzz on a Friday night. It's like... I'll try and make another video that's a bit more coherent on this kind of subject, but I mean, it's the past now, innit? I just got to move on and live my life. I can't go back to drinking. There's nothing it can give me. 2 weeks ago, I was rewatching one of my old videos. 2 weeks ago, I was like, oh, can't ever imagine not drinking ever again. Oh, don't think so. And it's like now I'm like, yeah, no, I don't think so. No more drink for me. Like, the deal is shit. The deal is shit, guys. A beer buzz at the cost of every other part of your life being slightly, if not significantly worse. Losing the feeling of being alive. Like alive. I'm not making much sense, am I? Oh well. We'll talk again.